As parents, I think the most of us share one thing, and that's to give our children the best possible start in life. And unfortunately, today's rates of chronic health conditions are affecting our children immensely. From allergies and asthma to ADHD and autism, is there anything that we can do or start doing now to support our child's development and health before they are born? So keep watching this video to find the biggest overlooked step when it comes to prenatal care. So let me share something that I see in my office almost every day. A mom that comes in is worried about her toddler's challenges. Looking back, she connects the dots: fertility struggles and treatments, stressful pregnancies, birth interventions, early developmental challenges or environmental factors, who's now facing ongoing health issues. This isn't just random. It's what we call the perfect storm, which is a cascade of events that all connect back to one crucial system, and that's our nervous system. So parents, let's look at some shocking stats. The US spends over $50 billion on childbirth every year. The fertility clinic market is reaching $16.8 billion by 2028. 25% of women are induced. 70 to 75% are receiving epidurals. 1 in 3 parents undergo C-sections, which the WHO recommends 10 to 15%. And 1 in 7 moms experience postpartum depression. Our moms are not being taken care of appropriately. We do birth terribly within this country, and it affects our kids bigger than anyone even talks about. But here's what's missing: understanding how mom's nervous system affects baby's development. So the nervous system is like a blueprint. So think about your nervous system like your body's master control center. It's not just like bones and muscles or the fascia or hormones. It's about how your body responds to stress, how it regulates those hormones, how it supports baby's development and creates resilience. When we're talking about our nervous system, there's 2 key players. We have our gas pedal, or that sympathetic fight or flight nervous system that plays a role with how we experience stress, and we adapt to stress, as well as like our emergency survival responses. And then there's our brake pedal, the parasympathetic rest and digest, growth and development, healing and repair modes that actually plays a role with our emotional regulation. Now, what they don't tell you is that there is a mom-baby connection through what's called the power cord. Our umbilical cord is more than just nutrition and waste removal and blood flow. It's the neurological power cord that transmits stress signals. It influences baby's development and creates this pattern or pre-firing of a fight or flight stressed out pattern on their nervous system. So mom's stress turns into baby's stress. And when mom is stressed, the stress hormones cross the placenta, baby's nervous system adapts and registers these stressful stimulus, and then the development of their brain, their nervous system, their body changes, and then future health is influenced. So let's talk about timelines in terms of development. This is one of my favorite studies. It's what's called the critical windows in fetal autonomic nervous system development. So in our first trimester. Now think about this as like foundation building. So at week 3, the nervous system begins to develop. Weeks 5 through 8, the major organ systems start to develop. By week 6, the social nervous system and the foundations of our social engagement, the foundations of our sensory processing systems start to form. And this is a critical period for the adaptation of our nervous system. Now, within our second trimester, this is like growth and organization. So weeks 13 through 16, this is a lot of structural development going on. By week 17, there's a lot of movement that's being formed, a lot of control centers that are being developed. And by week 26, there's big time key nervous system development, primarily with our vagus nerve, as well as the integration of all body systems starts to begin here. Now, in the third trimester, think about it like fine tuning. So weeks 29 through 32 is where the immune system starts to develop. 33 through 36 is like rapid brain development growth. And then at week 37, this is where the nervous system starts to fully mature to kickstart the rest of maturation until the age of 25. But also by week 40, this is full integration of our neurological system. Now, the one big piece is our 𝐻𝐵𝐴-𝐶𝐺 axis, or the connection between our brain and our hormonal control. So with this hormonal dance, your body has two big pathways. We have the 𝐻PA axis, which is our stress response, helps us to manage our stress hormones. It affects our pregnancy, influences development, and can override reproduction. And then there's the 𝐻PG, or the 𝐻PATG. Both of these are kind of included in that, but it controls our fertility. It supports pregnancy and it maintains balance, but the needs to calm its function. So when we talk about hormones, and I tell this to moms all the time, or women especially, where the hormonal challenges that we have downstream are actually affected by what's going on upstream. So that 𝐻PATG axis, our hypothalamus, our pituitary gland, our thyroid gland, our adrenal gland, and our gonads, or our reproductive organs, that whole cascade of how these hormones get created and influenced starts up here. It starts within the brain and the nervous system. So we can have downstream effects from an upstream problem, but then we're only really affecting the downstream stuff by bioidentical hormones, by birth control, by all of these other pieces, when we could have just addressed the root cause by addressing this neurological component. So the key is harmony or balance between our stress responses, our reproductive function, the developmental support, and our nervous system regulation. So how we create the optimal environment. So there's physical preparation. So starting with the basics, like how we move our bodies in regular movement, how we nourish our bodies with the food, quality sleep, and stress management. Then there's the emotional support. So building your foundation through stress reduction, through emotional processing or therapy and journaling, the support systems or the familial or friend connections that you have, and the time spent with them. And then there's the neurological support. So the key elements here, like one, there's a bunch of supplements and things that you can take. There's self-care. There's, like I said, journaling. There's the massage and things like that. But then there's also the neurological component that comes from neurologically focused chiropractic care. So that's getting an assessment done to be able to measure what's actually going on within the nervous system, to then move forward with the gentle adjustments to help release stuck stress and restore balance and function to our nervous system. So when we think about pregnancy, your birth team matters, and building your circle of essential team members is crucial, not just for the aches, the pains, the discomforts that come along with pregnancy, but also making sure that you're set up throughout your pregnancy and into the postpartum. So the essential team members are a prenatal chiropractor, either your midwife or an OB, a doula, whether that's for birth, or a postpartum doula for afterwards, a lactation consultant to be able to help with the feeding type stuff, as well as a pediatric chiropractor, because that's a big piece to lactation and feeding and whatnot, as well as a pelvic floor specialist. Now, communication is key, especially when we're talking about our providers. So to focus in, clear birth preferences, what you want, what you don't want, who you want to be there, who you don't want to be there, what interventions do you want to take place, what do you not want to take place, do you want the lights on, do you want the lights off, how do you want your ideal birth to go, and what preferences do you have, as well as like team coordination. We believe in a collaborative approach as much as possible, where doulas and lactation consultants and OBs and midwives are all in cahoots with each other to be able to make sure that your pregnancy, your birth goes as best as it possibly can. One thing that's really important is the informed decisions of knowing what happens if we make or don't make certain decisions through pregnancy, through labor and delivery, through afterwards. Because that's how we can start to be proactive with our planning through pregnancy and beyond. So for you, taking action, your next steps, the biggest thing that I can offer as a prenatal pediatric chiropractor is giving a assessment. So getting your nervous system checked out, and understanding the stress patterns, identifying those stress responses, and creating a baseline measurement onto the body. This is through the 𝐚𝐻 scans that very safely and effectively measure what's going on within our nervous system. The second piece is education. So learning deeper about development, understanding the interventions, and knowing your options to build your knowledge base as you move closer to conception. And then the support. Building your birth team, creating support systems with friends and family and providers, establishing a care routine that sets you up for the best plan for success. And now that we've talked through all of these amazing things, I hope that you can truly see that the impact that we can make on our growing babies is huge. How cool is it that by addressing or focusing in on our nervous system's function, that we have the ability to directly affect our growing baby's development even before they're conceived. So let's start by seeing what you and your partner's nervous system looks like. At Haven Family Chiropractic, we test this through technology called the 𝐴𝐻 scans. They're non-invasive, and they show us how your nervous system is functioning and where it may need some help. And from there, since all nervous systems are unique, you receive a customized care plan that's tailored to exactly what your nervous system needs to heal and be ready to grow that healthy baby or just be your healthiest self.